going on, you guys? It's Andrew back with another video, and today I've got a double sneaker unboxing for you guys, so let's get right into it. First things first, you may notice that was a different clip. I was wearing a different shirt. This is actually an unboxing a couple weeks too late, mostly because of my own fault. I kind of put the video off a little bit, and then I got sick, and I couldn't really record a video, so I'm recording it now. So like I said, two pairs to talk about today. The first is in this red Nike sportswear box, as you guys can see. And as you know, on this channel, I'm a big fan of the Air Max 90. Now, that's not going to change. We're not going to stop with the Air Max 90 unboxings quite yet, at least until they come out with the infrared Air Max 90 for 2020, the 30th anniversary. Once they do that, I'm going to stop buying Air Max 90s for a while. But this one right here was actually my third choice. It was one of three from the recent Air Max 90 release that I liked, and I only got through on one pair on the SNKRS app, so shout out to Nike for making me fucking compete to buy a pair of shoes from them. That's ridiculous. I'm really tired of the SNKRS app, to be quite honest with you. That doesn't mean I'm going to stop using it anytime soon. The first two that I wanted were in order that I wanted them, was the London pair, the Tokyo pair, and then finally the Paris pair. Now, the one I have here is obviously the Paris pair, so you guys can see right out the gate. You can see with this particular pair of shoes, it is an almost all-white Air Max 90. I don't really have that in the collection. I have a couple of all-white shoes, but they don't last very long in terms of, you know, regular wear, because obviously with white shoes, you're going to get them dirty, and it's going to be very difficult to get them clean. I don't see that changing for this particular pair, so I'm going to wait until the spring and summer to actually wear these when I decide to. That'll be after spraying countless layers of water and stain repellent on the uppers. The bottoms are just going to have to survive as they do. So like I said, this is the Paris pair. You guys can see it is an all-white upper with hits of colors throughout the branding. So you've got the Nike Air on the back and Air on the heel. Now, what surprised me about this particular pair was the upper material is actually mostly canvas. To give you guys a better look, almost the entire upper is canvas, mesh inner liner, and a white patent leather swoosh on the sides. Gives it a nice little contrast in terms of shades of white. There's at least 3 different shades of white that I could see. With a proper trained eye, you could probably spot more, but it's not really that big of a deal. From a distance, it all looks white, except for the tongue, of course, which has that Air in, I want to say, Parisian-style paint letters. It's an off-white tongue, giving it a nice aged look. Now, the patent leather swoosh on the side, I really think that's a nice, interesting touch. I think it's a good bit of contrast, and it really brings out the pure whiteness of the rest of the shoe. If you look up close, the laces are a bit thinner than the average Air Max 90 lace, and they almost seem waxed to me, but I could be wrong on that as well. So like I said, aside from the Air branding on the tongue, you have the Nike Air logo on the back. To give you guys a better look, it's in this red, white, and blue striped to symbolize the French flag. Gold Nike Air stitching with, I think that's a laurel. I could be wrong. If anyone in the comments knows, let me know. But a laurel or some kind of branch stitched in the Nike Air logo, which I think is really, really nice. Just a bit different than anything I've ever seen on an Air Max 90. One thing I didn't notice until today, was actually that the word Paris is stitched on the back of the tongue, which is an awesome touch. It's not something you're going to see if somebody's wearing them, but the person wearing them is going to know that it's there, you know? And on the insole, you have on both shoes the same branding. It says, you can pause that and get a better look if you want to, but it basically says for 0.90 euros, you can get baked fresh daily, the Air Max 90, which I think is, honestly, like I said, it's not something I really see very often. Actually, it just hit me what this is. I think this is wheat. I think this is a wheat branch. That's so stupid. It actually just hit me what that is, because I'm looking at the insole and they have wheat branches throughout the insole. That's a wheat branch on the heel. Wow, okay. So French bread is kind of the theme of this particular shoe. I think that's an awesome touch. And you know, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm just speculating here. Now that I'm thinking about the bread baked fresh daily, I think this kind of has to do with like French cooks wearing all white in the kitchen. Somebody, if that's what it was, then it's not obvious whatsoever. That's so funny to me. You're having a really genuine reaction here, like 2 weeks after I unboxed these. That's the funniest thing. Wow, okay, very serendipitous moment we're having here on Drew Reviews. Thank you for joining me for this. But that's pretty much where I'm going to wrap it up on this pair. I feel like just taking them out of the box, there's going to be little bits of dust that land on it. It's going to look bad, so I'm going to put these back in the box. Overall, the shoe is very similar to the recrafted style. I should probably hold it on this side, so you can see it a little bit better. Overall, the shoe follows the same recrafted styling. The silhouette is shaped very similarly to the previous recrafted Air Max 90s that I unboxed. And like I said, there's not too much else to say about the shoe. It's an all-white Air Max 90. It's canvas. I've never seen a canvas Air Max 90 before. Maybe it's been done before and I just don't know about it. I'm not an expert on the Air Max 90. I'm just a really big fan. And again, that back heel tab might be my favorite feature on the shoe, aside from that really awesome insole. So there you have it, guys, the Air Max 90 Paris. Let's move on to the next unboxing, which is not an Air Max 90. So you guys can, breathe easy. If you're tired of seeing Air Max 90s on this channel, you can breathe a little bit easy. I think we're done for a while. So moving on to the next shoe, we have my first pair of Nike by U's. You guys can see it right there on the box. It says in blocky outlined letters, Nike by You. You got an outlined swoosh, and all throughout the box it follows that same pattern where it's an outlined branded box. Not a lot of color, which I think is a nice little touch. Kind of gives you the idea that it's a blank canvas and the shoe is yours to just create for yourself. Now, I've made a handful, 3 to be exact. I've made 3 Nike IDs in the past, and after seeing this particular colorway on this particular shoe on Instagram, I thought, I gotta see if I can make that, and if I can make it, I'm gonna try to make it my own as much as possible. So, it's an Air Force One, and I hadn't gone on Nike ID in so long, and I forgot that Nike by You was its new moniker, so I was like, what is this Nike by You? What's the difference here? Now, I've seen like Cousteau make a video where he made the Presto something, that new Presto shoe for Foamer Simpson and Young Buckets, and it turned out really great, and it came in these special white boxes. I thought that was just like, you have to be an influencer of some kind to get them, but you could just be anybody really who's willing to pay a little bit extra for a sneaker model. And to be honest with you, the Nike Air Force One on Nike by You is $110. Now for $110 you can get a custom Air Force One. That's pretty great. Now, if you guys haven't been making Nike IDs for a while, you may remember, or if you guys have been making Nike IDs for a few years, you'll remember they used to be more expensive. My first one I made in 2012 was $180. That was the most I had ever spent on a pair of shoes at the time. So I was like, this is going to be something I'm going to hold on to forever, and luckily I still have them. But one last detail on the box, it is a pull-out box, and it does have a nice little label on the side there. Now the label's kind of gonna give away what I made, but you can see Nike by Andrew, my size, and an image of the shoe. That's a crazy detail. I'm like blown away by the packaging of these. And again, $110. I can't stress enough how great of a price point that is. So just put that there off to the side. You take the pull-out box out. You pull the box out, whatever. You got the Nike logos throughout the paper in the black outline. You got the pinwheel. You got the Have a Nike Day logo on the side there. I think that's awesome. Getting right into the shoe itself. I had already filmed this review and unboxing earlier, but it was out of focus, so I had to redo it. And so the shoes are like laced up, and I tried them on. They fit great, very true to size. It's the first pair of Air Force Ones I've ever bought. So there you have the shoe itself. Now under this lighting, I don't know how much I really like them because the lighting's a little bright. It's direct softbox lights, so we're just gonna get right into the shoe itself, and hopefully it translates to what I really like about the shoe. Now this is actually a gum bottom. It looks a little bit yellowish. It is a light gum, but I'm a big fan of this color, to be honest with you. Now obviously the shoe is a Chicago Jordan 1 inspired Air Force One. That's without question. It's 100% my inspiration. Now, I said I found this colorway on Instagram. I can't remember the exact account, but it had the same style, like Chicago Jordan 1 blocking, gum bottom. It had white laces though. I wanted the black laces. If you have a white tongue on your shoe, you usually want to go with white laces, especially if it's a Jordan 1 or an Air Force 1, but I really like the black laces and how they look in there. Plus I think white laces get dirtier way faster, so I'd rather avoid that. But the main difference here, what I decided to do to make it my own Nike by You, Nike by Drew, if you will, what I decided to do was go with a sail color. So kind of an off-white color rather than a pure white. I know it looks a little bright right now, but maybe if we, it's not gonna help. It looks white on camera, but it's a sail color, so it's a little bit off-white. And the gum bottom was what I chose because I think white bottoms on an Air Force One just attract grime, and I hate the way they look after like a few wears, so I'm not gonna do it. My main inspiration here was the Chicago Jordan 1, but I wanted to go with an aged Chicago Jordan 1. So if you look at like 1985 pairs, they all have the yellowed midsole. They all have like an off-white look to the leather. The red and the black are still vibrant because it's an easy color to keep vibrant over the years, but the white's gonna age a little bit more and the midsole is gonna get oxidized, so it's gonna age and it's gonna turn a little yellow. So that's why I decided to go with gum bottoms and an off-white color rather than white. And aside from one other detail, that's pretty much where my inspiration came from. On the back of the left shoe, you have Nike Air, and on the back of the right, you have Nike Shy. So Air Shy. Now, if you guys know, if you guys have been paying attention to anything sneaker related, All-Star Weekend was in Chicago. The All-Star Weekend Jordan 3 came out. It was the red, black cement, Jordan 3, and instead of Air on the heel where it says Nike Air, they put Shy on the heel for Chicago released pairs. Now, I didn't get lucky enough to get a black and red Jordan 3 with the Shy on the heel, which is the only one I really wanted. So I decided, this was actually a couple of weeks before All-Star Weekend. These arrived All-Star Weekend, but this was a couple weeks before that I had ordered these. I decided, let's jump the gun, put Shy on the back of one of the heels. So again, not only to pay homage to my hometown, but to pay homage to the color that I was inspired by, and of course by All-Star Weekend being in Chicago in 2020, which I thought was a great deal for the city. I thought it was a great deal for the NBA to have, Chicago host again for the first time since 1988. Since Jordan's historic leap from the free throw line during the dunk contest in '88, Chicago hasn't had the All-Star games, so the inspiration is all there. I decided, let's go with the Air Force One. It's a good shoe. It's a classic sneaker. It's really popular right now, but it's been popular for a long time in various parts of the country, parts of the world. Right now it just seems to have its like peak popularity, and I think that's gonna fall soon, like all things usually do. But to be honest with you, the Air Force One, it's not going anywhere. And to have these in the collection, trying them on, seeing how they fit, how they feel, it's not the best quality leather that I've ever seen on an Air Force One, not by far. And of course, having the Shy on the heel kind of separates it from like all these guys on Instagram that are making these custom Air Force Ones, or they're only painting like the swoosh or something. Like, this is not something you can really paint unless you have a base with a gum bottom, and how often do you see that? So it's not like anyone can't just go on Nike ID and make it. I actually invite you to do it. If you want to, go ahead and steal my idea. Off-white, red, black, you know the colors. It's not a big deal. To me, I could care less, but to have something like this, I was really, really stoked to have them in hand for All-Star Weekend. I just never got around to making a video, never got around to wearing them for All-Star Weekend, so it's just like, what are you gonna do? I kind of stayed away from the city during All-Star Weekend anyway, so it is what it is. Anyway, guys, that's gonna wrap up this double unboxing. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, comment below what you think. Let me know if you guys have ever made any Nike IDs or Nike by Yous. I'm gonna make a video talking about all 4 of my Nike IDs and really go behind the meanings of each of them and where I was, how old, like when I bought them, because it was from different years and like the inspiration behind them. I'm really looking forward to making that video now. Hit the subscribe button, of course, for more content, and thank you guys so much for watching if you made it all the way through. Until next time, this is Andrew signing off. Peace.